Donny, in regards to the Perth Lynx. What's got you fired up this week?
We set a pretty high standard, I think, in Western Australia for our sporting teams. And, we've had a lot of success, particularly in basketball. So the Wildcats, they're synonymous with success. But the Perth Lynx, to me, they just seem like they're not even having a dig at the moment. They come out, they haven't won a game so far, so they've only played a couple of games. But I just thought going into the game, so they played the Adelaide Lightning away from home. They went down 89-81, which is a decent sort of effort. Then they went and they took on the Bendigo Spirit, who likewise have had a pretty ordinary start to the year. So it was, the Lynx was sitting in 6th with no wins, and the Bendigo Spirit were down in 7th, also hadn't won a game. And just thought, that there's an opportunity for them to grab their first win of the season. Not only did they lose, they got beaten 123-65.
That is an absolute smashing.
They got annihilated.
That's a smashing in any sport.
Yeah, it's just unfathomable. And the thing that gets me is that they're relying solely on one player. So Courtney Williams is their import this year. She's come into the team. She's clearly a very, very good player. So despite the fact the Perth Lynx have not won a game, she is the leading point scorer in the entire tournament. But she's having to do everything. So against the Adelaide Lightning, 25 points and 3 steals. The next best scored 14 points. You look at the game, she actually got rested against the Bendigo Spirit, started from the bench, and still came on, played just 13 minutes of the game and was still the top point scorer. Grabbed 17 points. With the next best, Semi Whitcomb, who is another, usually a very good player, but just doesn't seem to be having the impact this year. She got 12 points, but played 3 times as many minutes as Courtney Williams. In the game against Bendigo, she got 32% from the field. 32% from the field. So it's only 1 in 3 shots that they you toss it over your head and you'll get more than 32%. Look, I just wanted to dig in and have a crack.
Sounds like Albie's bowling.
Yeah, well,
yeah. I just
for a franchise that is so well supported, and as you rightly point out, with the people behind them, i.e. Jack Bendat, he doesn't involve himself in duds, and they were the Waves, the whatever else they're being called. They've been bought into the Wildcats franchise as far as training facilities, full-time paid employees as players. They're not studying and going out getting another job. Their only job is playing for the Wildcats, playing for the Lynx, playing for this franchise. So I think there'll be alarm bells going off right now, and the coach is an ex-Wildcat. I'm just trying to find out who that is. But yeah, they as a franchise, which is the new word everyone uses with these things, there'd be alarm bells going off seeing that scoreline. That's well short. That's well short.
We actually got a home game at the Bendat Basketball Centre.
Yep.
Taking on, looking for some revenge once again against the Bendigo Spirit. Hopefully the girls can turn it around and get a win in that game.
Yep. And sorry, Brucey, just quickly, that was Andy Stewart from the Perth Wildcats. That's the head coach for the Lynx.
Yep.
So yeah, hopefully they can we can get a crowd down there, cheer the girls on. So far, most of the people that we sort of put the torch on, they turn it around in the next game and they put in a decent performance. So hopefully the Lynx can do that as well.
So is that because I think the Wildcats
That's a sure thing that now.
Yeah, so Wildcats at home. So this.
So there'll be 2 home games back to back.
Well, yeah. So Wildcats have got 2 games.
I don't like calling them curtain raisers because that's not what it is.
No.
It is a standalone game.
So, yeah. No, it'd be a good day. You get down to watch the 2 games really. So now my blowtorch, it's more confusing than anything. It's really bizarre. So a couple of weeks ago, we obviously reported what happened with the Western Sydney Wanderers, where the coach just gets up and leaves a week before the tournament starts. And we're going, well, what the hell's going to happen here? And they appointed Hayden Fox as the interim coach.
Oh, so not Ange Postecoglou.
No.
Oh,
no.
sorry, wrong coach who hasn't been.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Give it a couple of months.
Yeah, he will be the coach, yeah. Anyway, they've appointed Hayden Fox as the caretaker coach.
Yep.
They come out and they beat the Glory, which we're all going, well, what the hell? Glory, really? Like, if you're going to win a game, you know, they've got a team that's just basically had their coach walk out on them, you know, just before the kickoff, and we couldn't get it done. Anyway, I don't know why this guy hasn't been appointed coach yet. They're undefeated. He's not shy on advertising himself, which I really like, because I find, you know, the caretaker coaches in other sporting codes, they generally like to play it down and everything like that. Where he said, no, I know all of our players. I've done the entire pre-season. Really, he's the only person that makes any sense. Why would you bring someone else in from outside the club when you've just had your whole pre-season, all your training, all your drills and everything, to have someone go change it all? It doesn't make sense.
Potentially change your structure. Try and say no. Why are you playing like that? We're going to.
Well, we've seen
go
Ange do that, haven't we? And that's been very successful.
Oh yeah. No, it's been hugely. Yeah.
But I just don't understand.
Not.
I mean, I don't pretend to understand soccer, but you would think that the guy who...
It doesn't matter what sport.
Yeah, but the guy who knows your whole pre-season, all your routines, all your players, everything like that, in this season, you can't afford to go with someone from outside because you're going to derail your entire season. And he's getting wins on the board. I mean, what else do you want from the guy?
Yeah, and what's the alternative? You have him as caretaker coach for the whole season, where he doesn't... Or do you give him a contract?
Yeah.
What stability does that offer him?
Exactly.
Zero.
The more wins he gets, the more other teams start looking at, we'll grab this bloke because he doesn't have a contract.
There'd certainly be contracts involved in him staying as a caretaker coach and stuff like that, but you'd still be thinking, like you're saying, what more do you want?
Yeah. But, I mean, the general thing with all sporting codes is if it's for a promotion, you can leave the club. So, you know, the assistant coach can always leave to go take on a full-time job.
Everyone's got that clause in their contract.
Yeah. So they don't give you... I mean, if they win this week, he's got to get a deal. He's got to get a contract. What else can he do for this team? Like,
I'm sure the Western Sydney Wanderers would be releasing a press statement saying, we're going through a process, we've got a criteria, people have got to fill, yada, yada, blah, 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 but... At the end of the day, wins are wins. They're a W. They're in a column.
Yep.
And I can guarantee you, if he went zip and he lost both of them, he'd probably get resold straight away as well. So
yeah. Do you think he's got the golden handshake yet?
Sydney FC this week. So
hopefully not the golden banana. So
we still haven't got clarification on that actually.
No, that's all right.
We're going to find that out tomorrow night. Actually,
Wanderers, they take on Sydney FC this week. Obviously, the defending champs that everyone thinks they're just going to walk up and win it again this year. Big challenge.
Western Sydney Warriors, if you're listening, you know, all the way over there in Sydney, I don't know how far our broadcast carries, but I don't know if it goes that far. But for God's sake, if they win this week, give the man a contract. He has earned it.
Don't even know if it goes to Western Ellenbrook, let alone
All right, we'll be back in a moment. We're going to wrap up with some of our upcoming matches and for the week, and we'll rehash on a few things, and then we'll be wrapping up the show. You're listening to In the Sheds.
This is In the Sheds with Albie, Brucey and Donnie. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter @thesheds885.
That's right, you are in the Sheds. We're going to wrap up with a few games coming up, and big one, Donnie, for the rugby, and you were a little bit disappointed with this because there has been bugger all promotion.
Yeah, so you have the combined affiliated states team taking on England. It's a huge game. I mean, you think some of the best players in the world are going to be playing against some of our local blokes in a game at NIB Stadium on Friday night. Game kicks off around about 6:30. You can still get tickets to the gate, but tickets pre-sale through Ticketmaster if you want to jump online and secure the best seats in the ground. But guys like Gareth Widdett from the St George Illawarra Dragons, James Graham from the Canterbury Bulldogs, you've got Elliot Whitehead from the Canberra Raiders, as well as Thomas Burgess, Sam Burgess.
I was going to say the Burgess brothers are playing, aren't they?
So I mean, plenty of great players from the NRL, as well as all the best from the English Super League playing. And they're taking on a team, as I said, it's a combination of Western Australia, South Australia, Victoria and the Northern Territory, but there's 9 Western Australian boys that are going to be playing now.
Still a representative side.
Yeah.
It's not a... It's not like it's the chairman's 11 where you get some old nuffy decides he's going to pick a few blokes that his pets that get to go out and run out there. So it's a selected side, and you're playing England.
Playing England.
England haven't come over here just because they're bored.
No, well, they're preparing for a World Cup. So this is England's only trial match before they play Australia in the first game of the World Cup. So they're going to be fair income. They're going to be looking to really put on a show. I think it's going to be a great game to watch.
And just correct me if I'm wrong, but ticket prices were $5 for kids and $15 for adults.
Yep.
So it's not even not outrageous at all.
Cheap night out, a couple of hours in the NIB Stadium, so you're right in the city at the end of it. And
I know this is not your question to probably answer, but who's promoting this? Because I know I've sledged a few people regarding promotion of events that go on here, but is this rugby NRL or is this rugby WA that have got this? I know rugby WA would have done their best to try and promote it as best as possible, but obviously their financial clout and their promotional avenues probably wouldn't be as big as...
so it does come back to NRL WA somewhat. They're the ones that I suppose should be the big drivers of it.
Look, I knew it was on. I knew more about it than what the last one. I'm trying to think who else was coming over.
Oh, Australia versus South Africa game. Yeah,
I knew more about this than I did about the Australia South Africa game, to be honest. So once again, more punch, but. That's
NRLWA rather than spending money on advertising, sort of rely on that sort of word of mouth. And I find that the only people that know about it then are people that are interested in rugby league, whereas
buying a ticket, getting the wider audience,
get it out. So there's no paid advertising. There's no billboards or posters or signs on the bus.
Just Sully on the radio giving it to people.
That's it. Pretty much. It's just
and
Sully.
And 88.5.
That's it.
And us firing up. But I suppose one bloke that I'd like to even mention too. So I mentioned all the players from WA last week, but they played a trial game against Samoa and Papua New Guinea. Unfortunately, Victorian winger Arana Masoi picked up an injury very early on in that game. Which is a bit of a tragedy for him. Obviously, he misses out on an opportunity because of an injury in a trial game, but it offers an opportunity to Dwayne Butler from the Fremantle Roosters to come into the side, and he'll do a fantastic job. Obviously, the Roosters won the premiership. He played in that premiership-winning team, so a great opportunity for him to come in to join a couple of his teammates in Delane Edwards and Brad Gibson.
No worries. Now, on to the Warriors JLT final. They're playing in the final. We don't know if we're playing against Victoria, South Australia yet, but you'd like to think either or. We've got this one pretty well sewn up, you would hope.
Yeah, with the players that we've got to come in, you think that really strengthens our lineup, and we're pretty strong to begin with. We've been the dominant team throughout. And
bowling, batting.
Yeah, we've got it all covered.
No worries. And the Wildcats versus Melbourne. That's looking like that's going to be a really, really good game to get down and watch.
Yeah, anybody is saying Melbourne are the favourites. I don't know how you put Melbourne as favourites when the Wildcats are unbeaten, defending champs.
Yeah, exactly. We won it last year.
Melbourne media is making Melbourne favourites.
Yeah, well, that's it. And unfortunately, we do have to listen to SEN quite a bit when we listen to Sport FM.
But a tough weekend for the Wildcats, so I think this will really separate the boys from the men, so to speak. So Melbourne in second spot at home, so 3 home games in a row to start the year. And then we fly over to Cairns just a couple of days later. Cairns have started the season really well as well, so they're in third. So taking on the teams in second and third, real good test for the Wildcats.
Yep, definitely. The Perth Spirit, we've got to win this one against Sydney. Otherwise, like, as you said earlier, we're looking at doing the Western Bulldogs and dropping out of the finals. We won't be defending anything.
Yeah, so last home game of the year for the